Hello, my name is Roisin Rodrigo, and this is my sketchbook tour of my 2020 sketchpad. This is an A5 icon sketchbook, and I've had it for about a year, less than a year actually, and I will be giving you a quick tour of my sketchbook. So, like I like doing since I was a child, for every little book I usually draw a self-portrait, which is a little bit incomplete because I had other things to be doing, like filling my sketchbook a little bit more. But I have a quick self-portrait, unfinished self-portrait, which I do with every new sketchbook I start. So the first few pages of my sketchbook will consist of me exploring the male anatomy, as it is something I am weak currently, a skill I'm weak on. I studied the joints, and you can see that I've made little reference points as to where joints are placed, and then I also played around with the shadow. There's different lightings here, all the same pose but different lightings of tensed up muscles. As we go on to the next page, we can see another pose, to which I drew the starting point I used, and then this is the finished. So moving on, I started doing some realism. I used my friends as references, and I also did quick sketches of poses, which I timed. And here are some more. I used myself for reference for these, and I was mostly exploring the light and darkness between creases of clothes. So as you can see, I'm wearing a linen shirt and a pleated skirt, which both of these have very interesting creases and patterns when they are laid down on the body. And we can see that here again. So this page, I was starting to explore the use of Pinterest. This was my first time using it, and these were two of the first things I saw, so I decided to draw them. So this was like a male athlete, and we have a woman in an interesting pose, because I'm not used to drawing these intricate poses, but it was very fun. Moving on, again, very heavily inspired by Pinterest. I used ripped colored pieces of card, specifically the primary colors. So we have red, blue, and yellow, and I drew over them just as a small activity to explore different poses and different looks and styles. So this page, I've been seeing a trend a lot on social media of where you would get someone to draw a random line for you, and you fill it in with what you see. For this interesting line, I saw an octopus, I saw a face, I saw a siren, I saw a dragon, and many other stuff. I saw a person with a funnily big nose. So in this page, I was testing out knockoff Sharpies, actually, and I noticed how much they bled through the page, just like the real ones. I decided to draw men in suits because I thought it was something really fun, something I was really interested in, but not serious men, but people who look like they're enjoying their life. Suit up. Here I started using acrylics, and I was working with different font. So this page is a a page inspired from a video game I really enjoy called Splatoon. I was inspired by these two colored post note stickers, which resemble the colors of each character. So this character is pink and this character is in neon greenish. So we have come to one of my favorite pages in the book. This page was heavily inspired by Alice in Wonderland. So we can see the Queen of Hearts, the rabbit, the Mad Hatter, and Alice herself, and in the corner we have the Cheshire Cat. And something interesting about it is that this was made with one continuous line only. So the entire thing, the hair, the eyes, the nose, the detail, like details such as the clock and some roses around the place, they weren't really joined with the drawing, but these were all joined together with one line. And a famous quote, "We're all mad here," said by the Cheshire Cat. So, I use drawing or painting as a form of stress reliever. I wasn't feeling too great during this day, so I kind of let out my feelings onto the page. Maybe a little bit too much than I should have, but and here I was exploring different poses once again. References was off Pinterest. Here I was exploring with collage since I had leftover printed photos I needed for a project. I decided to put it together and make a little dress and a nice hair design. So this is a very simplistic and minimalistic drawing I made of a scenery. Again, I found on Pinterest. I used it simply just fine line markers because sometimes I get carried away in sketching with pencil and I make all these small details, and then it's so much time to go over them again in liner pens. So I thought it'd be a really fun activity to just drop the sketching and go straight for the pens. So it was a really interesting activity. It did freak me out for a while because I wasn't used to it, but eventually I got over it and it was really fun because I'm someone who gets very picky with stuff, and as you can see I have lines going through, but because I have pens I can't change that. So whatever happens on the page happens, and I can't change mistakes, which is something really important I've learned through this. So this is a collage page. Again, I made it out of random books and materials I found, and I'm still working on it. The theme for this is mostly like a turquoise and brownish, and a very weird page, I'd say. On this page, I was once again testing the knockoff Sharpies. I want to specifically use it for lighting, shading, and also skin, because skin and using markers is something I've never really tried, so I thought it was a very interesting activity. Again, inspired off Pinterest, and like I did with the scenery with the fine line markers, I did the exact same thing here. Like I said, I was very picky, especially when I'm drawing with pencil, so it takes a really long time to make a drawing, so this was made with no pencil and just pens. This page, again, like the Alice in Wonderland, very random. This time it was not one line though, it was just something scattered all over the page. I added a hint of color by using those knockoff Sharpies, and I actually really like it. As we go on to the next page, we have a really green page. I was doing a topic in school about nature and greenery, so I was inspired to put something like it down into my sketchbook. So this page is kind of random, I guess, but I guess that's what every single art piece. This character is taken out of one of my favorite movies, Spirited Away. He is probably the most interesting character ever, so I'd like to call him like my little happy place. And in this page, like my weird line inspired page, I actually made it with paint instead. So I took random blobs of paint, again with the primary colors. We can see red, yellow, and blue, and I dotted them around the page and I started smudging them all together, so you could see like the purple coming through in bits, in some places, and some green especially. I think I put on a lot of blue and yellow down here. So what I saw was a man from the 90s. I saw a bird. I saw an interesting man. And then I saw a swan or a duck. This page I was reserving for interesting styles I come across. So at this time I was experimenting with hatch crossing, a lot of hatch crossing, and how we can change the features and expression. So as we can see here, this is a very shocked face, but these two are more neutral. But I was experimenting with the shading of it, which is really fun, and it's now one of my main styles when it comes to shading. So for the next couple of pages, which are yet to still be complete, I made a little flower encyclopedia. So it is all inspired by the rainbow. So we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So the first page is red, which I used the poppy, which I wrote a description of. The red poppy is a symbol of both remembrance and hope for the peaceful future. And I wrote a few lyrics, which I thought really fit the description. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I really love that song. So we have a few poppies here. I thought they came out really nice. I used watercolor, a bird skull, and yeah, some potted plants as well. So orange is yet to be completed. I haven't found any orange paper yet. Yellow, we have sunflowers, which are my favorite color. So sunflowers symbolize loyalty and adoration. So I drew little lines across the page and I thought it really suited it. Unfortunately, I do not have the other pages completed yet, but it's an experience, and hopefully I could get a grab on the actual flower petals one day and fill them in. So after the flower encyclopedia, we just have a page where I just felt like doodling. I drew a character from a TV series here in an anime style with pencil. So the next couple of pages, these will be drawings I made while I was on my trip to France. So I kind of drew random strangers around the place while waiting for my flight. So as we can see, we have a woman sitting in front of me who is also waiting for the plane's departure. And while I was on the plane, I thought it would be an interesting idea to work with highlighters, as they have a slanted edge which could give you a thin or a thicker option, and it was a bit of a pain, but I thought it was something interesting to learn with it. I also drew this on a page during to France. So again, just random pictures just thrown onto the page. I really like them. So I actually forgot to bring an eraser, which is very stupid of me, but I did with the previous pages of only using fine line markers, I just drew some interesting stuff here. On the train ride to Paris, I drew my sister, kind of looking like Michael Jackson. I messed the nose a little bit, but it's just all for fun. And I drew a blob page, which I asked my friends to draw a blob, and I will overline them. So on this page, I drew a picture of two girls. The focal point of these pictures being the eyes, as we can see. I used pencil for this. And again, I drew some of my favorite actors, again using pencil. And this just a picture my friends challenged me to draw. Nothing political behind it, just for jokes and fun, which I think is very important when it comes for art. For this page, I was trying to go for a more cartoony art style, which I think I ultimately end up failing, as I ended up drawing a little bit more anime style in the end. But my goal was to try to do a comic style, and it was very interesting and fun. So this page, I was actually experimenting with colored pencils. Well, it was supposed to be markers. I decided to give those knockoff Sharpies a go again, but it just didn't look right to me at all, and I got really frustrated. The lips are so much darker, and I had very little control over the markers, as they would bleed instantly through the page, and blending just was not an option for them. You could see them, maybe it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but it couldn't even be saved by pencil. So although I was really happy with the sketch, I'm not quite so happy with the finished outcome. But again, this is all just experimentation and looking for what I'm most comfortable with. So these pages, I was actually given pro markers to use by my technology teacher. He kindly lended them to me, as he was, as I told him that I was working on putting together a portfolio for some of my university applications. So I experimented using the thick and the thin side. I made little different patterns, and I layered them over again and again. To what my understanding was, is that the more you layer, the darker it becomes, which was interesting because I thought that was something with every marker, but I guess this is what pro markers are more known for. I wrote a little description of what I thought about it, and I used human body parts to try shading with them, because it's something I'm most familiar with. And I even attempted to draw my teacher on the next page, and I was very happy with that. On this page, I was planning out an outfit for a competition for one of the games I play. This was just a plan. In the end, I actually didn't use it, but I did use some stuff such as the hairpin, the earrings, and the dress in the end. Unfortunately, I did not win, but it was something interesting, as it was my first time doing such a competition. On this page, we could see some sirens. Again, I tried the highlighter, and I think it worked out much better on this page. I really enjoyed it. And this is the last page of my sketchbook currently. It is a pen drawing of my bedroom. Again, no pencil involved, just pen.